drawing on it?
Thank you, sir.
Would you feel better on the outside? I know, and then
of 700 islands and keys, and each of those 700 islands, they are distinctly different. Each of the 700 islands is surrounded by water. You cannot drive from one island to the other. You have to go by boat or plane. A nation leader, name is Perry Christie. He is our Prime Minister. He's elected by the people of this country. He can serve as Prime Minister as long as the majority of the people vote for him. We have general election in this country every 5 years. Now the street in front of us is called Bay Street. Bay Street is one of our main shopping areas. The stores on Bay Street open at 8 a.m., closes at 5:30 p.m. Now, the stores open at 8 a.m., closes at 5:30 p.m. The straw market to our right on Bay Street open at 7 a.m., closes at 7 p.m. Now here in the Bahamas, tourism is our main source of income. We welcome you to our island. We want you to know that this country cannot survive for any long period without you. And that is why we are so appreciative of your visit to our island. We welcome you here. We thank you for coming, and we look forward to see you next week, same time and same place. Now, tourism is our #1 industry. We refer to our tourists here in the Bahamas as our bread and butter. And believe me, I love bread and butter. Our second industry here is banking. There are over 400 licensed banks here in the Bahamas. And the reason for that is there are no income tax, there are no sale tax. Our government earns most of its revenue from custom duties. Everything we import into this country except baby items, school supplies, and computers, those items are duty-free. But we have to pay custom duty on every other item. And the item that we pay the highest percentage of custom duty on is vehicles. If you were to import a vehicle into this country that value from $1 to $10,000, the duty will be 55%. If you import a vehicle that value from $10,000 to $20,000, the duty will be 65%. A vehicle that value $20,000 and over, the duty will be 85%. Our currency look a little different from the U.S. currency in color, but it is on par with the U.S. dollar. One Bahamian dollar value one an American dollar. It's dollar for dollar. We have in our paper money 50 cents, $1, 3, 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100. Perry Christie is our Prime Minister. He's also Minister of Finance. Now the building coming up to our right with the green shutters is our Parliament building, House of Assembly. It is a 38-seat Parliament. The members of the Parliament, they are elected by the people of this country. The building in the center to our right is the Senate building. Is a 16-seat Senate. The members of the Senate, they are appointed by the Prime Minister. The statue to our right is Queen Victoria of England. The rest of the pink buildings to our right are courthouses, and we call that area Parliament Square. Our third industry here is agriculture, fishing and farming. Fishing is extremely good year-round in the Bahamas. A lot of Bahamian fish commercially, some fish just for the fun. Right now, the snappers are schooling, so the fishermen are doing quite well when they catch. You don't need to go that far, you go a couple hundred yards offshore, do a little chumming up, and you can do quite well. Fishing, you could deep sea fishing, bottom fishing, spear fishing. A lot of folks go by the reef snorkeling. A lot of fish lives around the coral reef. Very pretty. Our main dish here in the Bahamas is fish and conch. That's our main dish. Conch is spelled C-O-N-C-H. It's a shell type fish. It grows in the shell. The shell is very pretty pink in color. You can eat the meat out of the shell 7 different ways. Take the meat out of the shell, eat it raw. Conch fritters, conch burger, steamed conch, stew conch, crack conch, conch chowder. You can eat that meat several different ways. As long as the meat remains in the shell is alive. To take the meat out of the shell, you have to put a hole at the bottom of the shell, and then you take a knife, push the meat out. Once that is done, then the shell will die. As long as the meat remains in the shell is alive. You eat the meat, take it out of the shell, eat it raw, it's good for you, energize you. Conch fritters, conch burger, steamed conch, stew conch, crack conch, conch chowder, very tasty. Some folks collect some of the shells, clean them up, sell them on the street corners for $5, $6. Some people use the shell to make jewelry. Some people use the shell to make decoration. Some people even use the shell by putting a hole at the bottom of the shell and blow it as a horn. And you will get a very nice sound from that shell. Now the yellow building coming up to our left, it is our main hospital. Originally it was called the Bahamas General Hospital. In 1989, Princess Margaret from England came. She opened an extension to this hospital, which was the eye wing, and in her honor, they renamed it Princess Margaret Hospital. This hospital has 530 beds in it. There is a private section in this hospital as well. All senior citizens, students, government employees with the proper ID get medical service at this hospital for free. Any other resident of the Bahamas, if you were admitted in this hospital, it will cost you $10 per day. To our visitors, we love you dearly, but we charge you a little bit more. Any of our visitors is admitted in this hospital, it will cost you $30 per day. Now directly in front of us, there is a stairway called 66 Steps or the Queen Staircase. It's 25 feet wide, 90 feet tall. It was chopped out of the limestone rock by slaves during the slave days. During the slave days, the slaves that work around these forts work extremely hard for very long hours for very minimum wage. In those days, they had no union to negotiate for them. They had no watch to work by. They had to use the sun. When sun rises, you began to work, and when sun goes down, that's when they stop working. Now, any of you wish to walk those stairs up, please feel free. You can exit this bus, walk those stairs up. Once you arrive at the top of the stairway, you make a right to Fort Finn Castle. Once we arrive at Fort Fincastle, we are going to be there for 15 minutes.
That is right downtown. That is the British Columbia. That's the Hilton Hotel. You see the large building with the flat rooftop? That is Atlantis office. Built in the year 1969. Look here, Wall Street building way down that way. That is called Sheridan Cable Beach Hotel and Casino, and the building with old white top. That's there. That is the yellow building right in front of us. That is the pride of peace. That is our new trade. Green. That building with the 10-room top. That used to be the old Bristol. Population of 10 miles from they call it Bristol. Look all that video. That long island there, that is Paradise Island. Paradise Beach, it is on the other side. Getting across there are two bridges. The first bridge going to take you to the water. Look between those trees, that large tree. That is the Atlantis Hotel and Casino. Guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, that arch, that is a suite. That suite costs $25,000 a night. I don't know what they get for $25,000 a night. What I do know, if you spend 4 nights there, you can buy a home right in Nassau. Fair enough. Yellow and white building down there, that is our largest hospital. That hospital built in the 1950s by the Bahamas.